Hi, this is Sweaty Jetty, and I am in this video going to go over a scav run that I do on woods from a couple of different angles. Try to show you how to get in there and maximize your scav. So essentially, anytime you are loading into woods, you're going to spawn somewhere either on the right side of this map, the top of this map, or the left side of the map, and depending on where you spawn, your extracts are going to most likely be on a different part of the map. So I'm going to do this from a couple different spawn locations and show you the route that I take to maximize the money that I make on each and every scav run. Let's get right into the video. Alright, so here I am spawned in. I've spawned in back behind Scav House, which on the map here is going to be down in the lower left-hand corner, and looks like our extracts are Scav Bridge, which is up at the top, the very top of that map, Scav Bunker, which is also at the top of that map, and then UN Roadblock, which is over to the right. So for the purpose of this video, I'm going to go hit a couple stashes, go up to the USEC camp, hit a couple stashes by Scav Bunker, and then most likely go out either Scav Bunker or Scav Bridge. Let's get right into it. Alright, so the first thing that I'm going to check once I get in are my extracts, which I've done. I'm going to see what I've got on me. I know I need that camera right now for my stash, and I'm going to try to maximize the spaces that I've got here. I'm going to hang on to this just in case I need it, but first thing I'm going to do is try to find, if I can, a bigger rig and a bigger backpack so I can get more stuff. But starting here we're at the Outskirts extract. There's Scav House right there. If you run right here along the edge, there's a stash over here in the corner down by the water that we'll hit, and then we're going to move on from that to a dead man's, hit a dead body in a bag, and then we're going to go over to a tent and then a shack, and be hopefully collecting loot all along the way. So here's a stash. It's right behind this tree, which is next to the I guess you would call the deer stand type thing. And I'm gonna get everything that I can out of here. Looks like we got a few pistols. I'll take them for now. I might drop those later. So now moving on, this is the Dead Man's Place extract. I don't have it, so I don't have to worry about timing out in here. But if you do have this extract, and you want to check these bags, one way to do it is to go hit the bag or the body, and then run away, and then run back in. And if you do that over the course of a few tries, you should be able to get everything discovered and be able to get it into your inventory before you tab out. So now we're moving up towards the mill. The mill is that way, and from where we started back in that corner, that's Scav House and Outskirts over there. And this tent that I want to go to, sounds like Sherman is up, so as a scav I would recommend staying away from the mill anytime you hear Sherman. There's just really no real benefit to attacking him as a scav. You'll lose scav karma. But yeah, anyway, right here on this tent you can get things like flash drives and other high value loot that'll spawn. I've found Rolex watches on the ground in here. Looks like, and there's also this bag that you can check. And this raid looks like things have been looted, but don't get discouraged if you run into that. I'm going to take you through a lot of spots that people often don't go to, and should be able to find loot even on a raid that seems like everything's already been picked through. So right now we got about 14 minutes on the clock. That's going to be plenty of time for us to get through this run. And I usually take up pretty much all of the time. So here is this the shack. On that table, suppressors and scopes will spawn. I typically call this suppressor and scope shack or scope shack. suppressor shack, a variation of any of those. This wooden box a lot of times doesn't get looted. And then there's also food spawns that'll spawn on this table. Fortunately right now, it's been picked through, so we'll keep moving along. Now there's a dead body on this tree. I always tuck in behind this tree when we search it, because PMCs will sometimes sit up in that area and try to get scav or PMC kills. So it looks like this body's not been hit. We are in luck. I'm going to move a couple things up just to make space. Right now these squashes are going for quite a bit, so I'm going to take that and we're going to move right along to the next stash that we're going to hit. So this tree here that's leaning like that, just on the other side of it there's a big bush, and in the corner of this bush is the stash that we'll hit right here. That. Now to continue moving along, the next spot that we're going to check, there's a jacket over here. You just keep running in the same direction that you were. Start looking for these rocks, and this is the marked circle on the woods, and we've got, looks like a dead scav there on the ground. But there's a jacket here that I always like to check just to see if there's any keys in it. And then we're going to take a look at this scav. He's got a better rig, so I'm going to swap that out right now. I'm going to take this AKM off of him. And I don't typically keep the mags when I'm in here on these, so I'll get rid of that. Check the pockets just in case there's any keys that were left behind. And we got the water, so I'm going to take the water for now. Now we're moving over to what I call Violet Checkpoint. I call this Violet Checkpoint because inside of that car where the door's open, there is a Violet keycard spawn. I found that to be a fairly good place to find the Violet keycard, but in this shack I always check this side on the floor. There are suppressors and scopes and different weapon parts, good high value weapon parts that'll spawn here. On this bench there's a key that'll spawn for shoreline, static spawn. And then sometimes if nothing's hitting here, it appears that everything has been. But I'll check this box just to see if there's anything in there that's worth taking. Unfortunately not, so then we're going to just check. Right here is where the Violet keycard would be. There's a medical bag here, weapon box there. But I'm going to keep going along my route. In this area by the Violet shack is a spot where a lot of action happens. So as a scav, I'm trying to get in and out of that area as quickly as I can, because I'm not wanting to have to engage with any PMCs on this run. My whole goal here is just to get through, hit as many loot spots as I can, try to hit things that haven't already been hit by players throughout the raid, and lay low and get out. So this little spot here, there's a couple boxes. I don't always check this, but it's worth taking a look at whenever you're running through if you've got the time in your raid. And since I've still got, looks like 10 minutes, I think I got plenty of time to take a couple seconds to look at that. But now running towards the outside of the map. Now we're on the far left, up above ZB14. ZB14 bunker is just over in that area. There's a stash on this hill. You know it's this hill because there's a big rock right here. It's right along the road. And what you do is you run straight up, stay on top of this ridge, go through the one plant, and then the second plant right here on the ground is a stash. A lot of times this stash is not hit just because it's a hard one to get to. A lot of people, it's on the side of the map. It's one that even when I'm running in a raid and every stash is hit, a lot of times that one's left unlooted. So now, here we are going north on the map towards the USET camp, and there's another stash on this next power line right here that we're gonna hit, and then see if we can't find some loot in there. And if you enjoy my content, I would definitely appreciate a like or a follow on my YouTube channel here. I'm gonna be putting videos out like this one, typically geared towards newer players that are trying to get familiar with the game, and specifically a run like this is for, intended for someone who is trying to make some money so that you can beef up your PMC kits and everything you need money for in the game. It's a fairly safe run, and one that I've literally made millions of rubles every wipe doing this exact run through this map. This is Woods' maybe a daunting map at first for newer players, but if you can get familiar with this map, maybe in an offline raid, or follow along with this video in an offline raid, I think you'll really be able to improve your ability to make money, which ultimately is going to give you way more options on how to go about your strategy on the game. So now here we are in the USEC camp, and what I'm looking for when I first get in here is I'm looking at this table to see if there's anything on it, because there's going to be several weapon attachment spawns here, and if that is empty, or if it's got scopes or anything like that, I know this whole area hasn't been hit. Based on what's on there now, and based on this box, it's definitely had somebody come through, but I'm still going to take a look here and see if they overlooked anything that maybe they didn't know was valuable. The next thing I'm looking at is this area just under these under the rocks near these cots. Gold spawns will spawn there. I've found things like bitcoins, I've found horses, I've found bronze lions, gold chains, anything of the high value gold variety. Gold spawns is what I call those. Those things do spawn in there. So now we've got some food spawns in this area on this table. There's a crate here that's a tech supply crate. Worth taking a look. Now the next thing, I usually don't spend much time looking in this vehicle, but I will look in this one. So here we've got an Untar armor. I'm going to go ahead and take that bad boy because I'll be needing it. And then we've got a weapon box here. So the way I like to loot this weapon box is I'll hit F and then C so that I can crouch behind the truck while I'm taking a look through this box, just in case there's anyone coming. I'd rather hear them before they hear me. And then lastly in this truck, right here, an M4A1 will spawn, and if it spawns there, it's usually one that's got some attachments put on it. Definitely worth taking out. It'll help you with the gunsmith quest when you get to the M4 gunsmith quest, because it's fairly well built out. This crate here is a medical supply crate. I found some good medical items in there, like ophthalmoscopes, and never found a LEDX or anything that valuable in there, but I have found plenty of ophthalmoscopes. I found blood sets, things that are high value, worth taking a look. Now we're into the second USEC camp. In here, there's a table here that's would spawn weapon parts similar to the first table we looked at over there. We've got a weapon box here. Looks like we've got a duffel bag, which I am going to take because, like I said in the beginning of this video, one of my goals here is to try to upgrade my bags to get the most space as possible. And most likely the reason that duffel was there is because an M4 or MBSS bag spawns in this camp. It can spawn in several different locations, but likely it was on top of this crate or on top of these. So always check that if you're looking for the bag. Again, I'm checking this table right here for loot. Looks like someone's looted it. They dropped a relay because they found something they wanted to swap that out with. And here we've got a food crate. So if you're looking for food items, croutons, I'll usually check that for sugar if everything is open. And then right here under this medical tent, this is where medical things will spawn. Right here on the ground, I found ophthalmoscopes, several raids, even as a scav, overlooked often. So moving on, we are going to run out of this camp towards this rock, and once we get to the edge here, I want you to imagine a straight line from this ridge to that ridge. Over there's going to be mines, so you do not want to run to the left. You want to get over closer to the lake, make this line, and then just run straight from one ridge up to the next. And we're going to hit a stash over here. Now this stash oftentimes does get hit because there's a PMC spawn that's very near this stash. But since we're over here and we're on the run, we're going to take a look. Looks as if this one's been unhit, so I'm going to upgrade a couple of things here. Take the duct tape, because right now duct tape you can barter for tool sets, I believe, or it might be I can't remember if it's used for tool sets or if it's used in the hideout. But the duct tape is late wipe, something I would leave behind, but this is early wipe when I'm recording this video. We're about a week into the wipe of 13 wipe. So I'm taking a few things that I normally wouldn't. But now from that stash we run straight across, and we're up now behind the Scav Bunker is just up that hill. You can see the rocks there. Just on the other side of those rocks is where the bunker is. And then we've got a bush here with a short cedar tree next to a tall pine tree. There's a stash right here that is almost always unlooted. Not many people know about this stash. So there we go. We've got an MP5. I believe I'm going to leave that for now, unless I can find a larger bag. I want to keep the Mosin because I need it for leveling up my sniper skill, and I want to keep that AKM. I prefer the AKM to the MP5 at this point in wipe. So now we've got, I'd like to get that scope. So I think what I'm going to do is drop one of these pistols and go ahead and take that scope off the gun. Just kind of looking around. Definitely was some fighting in here at one point. Got a bank robber. Dead PMC. Just see if he's got a tag. He does not. So we've got some food that'll spawn here. Sometimes things will spawn in there. I've found moonshines in these boxes before, so always take a look in those. And then down into the bunker. Take a look at what we've got here. Now this bag is not bigger than the one that I've got, so I'm going to leave that on him. Kind of take it slow through here. Alright, it's clear. So now I'm looking at the ground in this cots, because there are gold spawns that will spawn there. They will also spawn underneath that cot right there. And then I'm going to hit this jacket. And now we are going to go ahead and extract, because I'm down to under a minute left in the raid, and that'll do it for this portion of the video. Alright, so we are back in now at the transfer screen, and rather than doing this video, I think I'm going to break it up into a few different parts just to keep the videos a little bit shorter. So this will be one of 3. And if you enjoy the content, feel free to come back and take a look at the other videos. If you've got any questions, feel free to reach out to me. I stream online fairly regularly, so check out my stream and jump in if you got any questions. If you'd like any help with any tasks or any of these runs that I'm doing, feel free to message me on my chat and the live stream. Thanks again for taking a look at the video. Hope you enjoyed the content, and best of luck in your Tarkov endeavors. Take care.